Alright, what's going on, guys? Here we are with another one of our team building videos, except this month it is for the Commander Cup. And in this cup, it was kind of hard with the team building. I didn't really know what 6 slots. I mean, I know you have to have the 5 core types and you have to have a commander, but even still, I mean, each one of those spots has a certain position. So I had a friend help me make basically what the meta is, really. And so we were going to cover 3 of those today, and tomorrow we'll cover the other 3 spots. In the first spot, we have the anti-fighters. And this also includes some of the just counter users, because when I say fighters, it's more than just fighting type Pokemon. There are a few just counter users, or like pseudo fighters. So the 4 big ones that you'll probably see will be Hypno, Bronzong, Noctowl, and Golbat. I also put up the Ghost Boys because all the Ghosts beat every fighter. Emolga beats the fighters, and Gallade also beats the fighters. So we're going to go into Hypno, and what I try to do with this graphic that I made is try to show other matchups that our main anti-fighters win outside of the fighters, because we already know they beat them. So it's like, okay, let's throw some more diverse picks in there, like Hypno actually beating Bronzong in the 0. But it does lose to Bronzong in the 1 and 2. I know I don't show that because obviously that would take forever, and this graphic would be huge if I covered every individual matchup. There are some matchups here that they actually beat in multiple shield situations, but I just had to mention in 1 or 2 of the shields. So that's just kind of what I was going for here. Ones that like really stood out to me was the ones that I went with. So surprising, or not too surprising, is Hypno beating Frostlass. Mainly because Hypno, I think, can take 1 Shadow Ball from Frostlass, whereas Frostlass cannot take anything from Hypno because of how squishy. Hypno actually ties Noctowl in the 0 shield, mainly because it can only Fire Punch Noctowl. And then, of course, beats Bronzong in the 1 shield, picks up Ninetales with Fire Punch. I'm pretty sure it has to bait to beat Alola Marowak in the 1 shield, because I don't think you can just go straight double Shadow Ball. I think 2 Shadow Bones will kill Hypno, and Alola Marowak is definitely going to be faster at throwing out those charge moves than Hypno. Beats Crustle. This is Fury Cutter Crustle, not Smackdown Crustle as well. So even with those X scissors hitting up, he can hit neutral with the Fire Punch, or just go for the big home run Shadow Ball. And then Barbonicle. I'm gonna say that wrong. It beats it in the 2 shield, mainly because Barbonicle can only hit Stone Edges. Actually beats a Scavalier who resists Confusion. It mainly beats it in the 2 shields because the Scavalier has to hit a Mega Horn at that point. And Hypno can just Fire Punch. And actually picks up a Lapras in the 2 shield too. Probably just from baiting twice with Fire Punch and then Shadow Balling. Whereas Lapras would just surf the whole way. And then we'll go down to Bronzong. Bronzong beating a few of the Electro Boys and Lapras. Bronzong beats, I think, every Ice type in every situation, besides maybe Frostlass. I think that's the only one it doesn't beat in a few shield situations, but I'm not 100% sure. Like I said, just made this to cover some of them. Bronzong beating Gallade, Emolga, and Crustle in the 1 shield, so they share the same. Hypno and Bronzong both beat Crustle in the 1. And then we're to the 2 again, also beating Ampharos and Emolga in the 2. And I threw in Alolan Graveler's another electric type that's going to be up there. I'm really just trying to cover the basis of most of the other slots. And then we'll go down to our flyers, which is Noctowl and Golbat are the main 2 that you'll see outside of Emolga maybe. Emolga kind of is more of the electric spot than an anti-fighting, but it does its job pretty well. Noctowl was definitely the best flyer here. Beats Munchlax, beats Alola Muck, which are top 2 meta, and I threw a Spice Dragalge in there. Then it beats Crustle again with Fury Cutter, and I'm pretty sure it's Rock Blast, not Rock Slide. It may be Rock Slide for this one, I don't remember exactly. And beats Hypno in the 1, whereas Hypno tied it in the 0 earlier. And then we'll go to the 2 shield, beats Skuntank again, beats Golbat, mainly because Golbat can only Poison Fang Noctowl, and then beats Crustle again in the 2. Then we'll go down to our second flyer, and Golbat beats Jellicent by just straight Shadow Ball, beats Marowak the same way, and it beats the Scavalier just straight Shadow Ball as well. The Scavalier can't hit anything super effective against Golbat, so it's a pretty one-sided fight right there. And then again, Golbat beats Skunk Tank, surprisingly, in the one shield with it being a Poison Dark. I'm pretty sure it just straight has to go, or baits probably one Poison Fang and then double Shadow Balls. Because Skunk Tank is 4 times resistant, I believe, because of the Dark typing, or 2 times resistant. One of those. Also put Dragalage here in the one shield. Really want that thing to work, just because it's new and it's cool looking. And then in the 2 shield, beats one of the electric types, probably with a bait. Beats Alola Muck, another Dark Poison in the 2 shield, and beats the Scavalier again. So that's all for the anti-fighting. For the first slot, let's go to the next one, which are your Dark and Ghost. And a lot of these are going to be, a few of these are kind of safe swaps here, depending on who you're going against. I mean, safe swaps obviously depend on your opponent's matchups. But Frostlass, always a premier safe swap, and Alola Muck is pretty safe in this cup as well. Outside of the fighters, it really doesn't have much competition. Jellicent also very nice with Bubble Beam and Shadow Ball and Hex. It's going to be really throwing out charge moves fast, and you really got to make the call if you want a Bubble Beam or Shadow Ball. So it's really kind of bait. It's not bait dependent, but it's like Alola Marowak, but if you hit a Bubble Beam, it's better. So Jellicent obviously beats all the Psychics and Ghosts in the 0 shield, not too surprising there. In the 1 shield beats Emolga and Ampharos, 2 electric types, probably with a Bubble Beam bait and then Shadow Ball. Ampharos is kind of slow with Thunder Punch. Emolga is a bit faster with Discharge and Thundershock. I'm pretty sure it gets Discharge. And then it beats one of the Poison Darks in the 1 shield with Skunk Tank. I'm pretty sure you can probably just straight Bubble Beam and then Shadow Ball, not 100% sure. And the 2 shield picks up another electric, and Emolga actually picks up one of the grasses and Cradilly in the 2 shield, and picks up Haunter. Haunter and Gengar are also ghosts in here that I did not mention. They are good and they do fit certain roles, but the best ghosts that were available are definitely Jellicent, Frostlass, and Alola Marowak. Then we'll move on to our first Dark type, Shiftry, always the fast, speedy boy with Snarls, Leaf Blade, and not Dark Pulse. Ooh, foul play. He beats Lapras in the 0 shield, beats Steelix, and actually beats one of the pseudo flyers in Emolga. Probably just straight foul play, probably outspeeds it because Aerial Ace is such a bad move on Emolga. In the 1 shield, it actually ties with Alola Marowak, which is, I guess that's not that surprising considering Alola Marowak can only hit Bone Clubs for neutral damage. Shadow Ball will be resisted, but those fire spins do add up. Beats one of the other grasses in Roserade with that spammy Weather Ball, and actually beats Frostlass in the 1 shield. Now I'm pretty sure it loses to Frostlass, as Frostlass has an energy advantage just because Frostlass is that good when it comes to switch-ins. And then the 2 shield picks up Steelix and Roserade again, and actually picks up Barbonicle in the 2 shield, which is not that surprising, but Barbonicle does have Cross Chop, which can hit Shiftry for a lot of damage. And then we'll go down to Alola Muck, who's always been my favorite Poison Dark. Skunk Tank I've also forgot to mention on here just because he's really outshined by Alola Muck. But Alola Muck beating Munchlax just because Lick is not, it's going to be super resistant from Alola Muck. Beats other Poison Dark in Skunk Tank, and beats the Bulky Boy in Lantern. I'm pretty sure you just hit it with a Sludge Wave, and you may have to throw a Dark Pulse because Lantern is bulky. It also beats Noctowl, one of the grasses, Cradilly, and Ampharos in the 1 shield, and then again beats Lantern in the 2 shield. Actually beats 2 of the, one is a pseudo fighter because it's confusion, but the close combat you gotta worry about. And it beats Escavalier, which is actually one of the kind of fighters in this cup. Probably just straight Dark Pulse, even though it resists it, being that bug typing. Actually, I'm pretty sure bug resists Dark. I'm not 100% sure. And then we'll move on to a Frostlass. Frostlass actually beating Munchlax in the 0 shield, just straight Avalanche. Beating Steelix in the 0 shield, as long as it doesn't get a crunch off. and then it beats a Scavalier because the Scavalier's counters are resistant to Frostlass, and it just will outpace the Scavalier by a lot. In the one shield, it beats Poliwrath because Poliwrath cannot hit it for anything super effective. Dugong, again, same story because Frostlass can hit it with a Shadow Ball, and actually beats Toxicroak in the one shield, which is very nice to have one of the Dark Ghosts beat Toxicroak. I guess it's not that surprising that a Ghost beats it. And then in your two shield, you beat two of the Confusion users in Bronzong and Hypno, and actually pick up the Alola Ninetales matchup, which I'm pretty sure Frostlass actually beats Alola Ninetales in every shield situation. Don't quote me on that though, but I'm like 90% sure because Alola Ninetales' only way to beat Frostlass is through Psyshock, unless you're running the Charm variant. If you're running the Charm variant, you can beat Frostlass on the two shield. I know that. And then we'll go down to our last ghost, Alola Marowak. Alola Marowak beats Shiftry in the one, whereas it tied it in the Alola Marowak beats Shiftry in the 0, where it tied it in the 1. Beats Crustle. If Crustle has Smackdown, I still don't think it would beat. Or not Smackdown, Rock Throw. Yeah, it is Smackdown, never mind. It wouldn't beat Alola Marowak. And then it beats Dugong, mainly just because back-to-back Shadow Bones and Dugong's Water Pulse really isn't going to do that much. Like I said, tie Shifter in the 1 earlier. I don't know why I put it on here twice. Forgive me for that. Beats Emolga in the 1, just straight Shadow Ball. And beats Polly because Polly can't hit Alola Marowak with anything super effective. You can run Bubble if you so care for it, or you can run Hydro Pump as a spicy pick to really catch it off guard. And then we'll go to the two shield Alola Marowak beating Cradily, just because it outpaces it before Cradily can get Stone Edges. Beats Lapras, even though it can hit fast serves. Shadow Ball is still better and faster than Ice Shard. And then it beats another one of the waters in a Lantern, just because it's going to outpace it. And then we'll go down to our final spot, which is the Electrics. And this will be the final one we cover today. We will start with Lantern. Lantern beats Haunter, Escavalier, and Beedrill in the 0 shield. Kind of surprising it beats Haunter in the 0 shield because Haunter can easily hit it with a Shadow Ball, but that's just a testament to how bulky Lantern can be. And the 1 shield beats Bronzong, Munchlax, and Barbonicle. None of these have anything super effective to hit Lantern with, and Lantern can easily just Thunderbolt the whole way. Or, for Bronzong's sake, if you really want to, you can Hydro Pump it to Oko. In the 2 shield, it actually ties Munchlax now, but beats Hypno and beats Frostlass in the 2 shield. Then we'll go down to the Zebstrika with a Flame Charge and Wild Charge, I believe. Beats Shiftry and Roserade due to Flame Charge, and probably beats Haunter due to Flame Charge as well. I don't think you have to hit a Wild Charge, but you might. In the 1 shield, actually beats Alola Marowak, Crust, and Alola Ninetales. Wild Charge the Crustle and Alola Marowak, and of course Flame Charge the Alola Ninetales. And then in the 2 shield, again, we see someone beating Frostlass with Flame Charge, and also you have now picked up a Lapras in the 2 shield. And of course Munchlax. Munchlax is just kind of a generalist in this cup, so it just kind of slots in wherever you need it to. Then we'll go to our 3rd Electric in Alolan Golem with, I'm pretty sure it's rocking Stone Edge and Wild Charge in this one. And the 0 shield, of course, it beats Frostlass, will absolutely decimate it with Stone Edge. Same with Alolan Marowak, and then Wild Charge is good enough for Alola Muk there. Then the 1 shield, of course, beats Jellicent. Beats Sudowoodo, which is a pseudo counter user in this cup. Just straight Wild Charge, I assume. And then beats Barbonicle, another water type, which fits. And then Poliwrath, and then in the 2 shield, Poliwrath actually ties it. You would think Alola Golem would beat it, but Poliwrath is very spammy with the Ice Punches and Dynamic Punches. But it's closer than what you think. And then it also beats Bronzong and Hypno, 2 of the Confusion users, in the 2 shield, mainly just because I think it's going to outpace them versus Confusion. Then we'll go to our 4th Electric spot, your favorite Electric Boy, Raichu, Alolan Raichu at that. Raichu is kind of viable in this cup, but I still think Alolan Raichu is better, just because it's running Psychic in this cup, and if you really needed to, you could run Grass Knot. I'm not really sure why you would run Grass Knot. Wild Charge covers most of the things that Grass Knot can cover, but of course beats Lapras, and this Zero Shield beats Dragalge Psychic because of that poison type, and it beats Alolan Golem also, I'm pretty sure, with just straight Psychic. And the 1 Shield beats Bronzong, beats Lantern, and Alolan Ninetales. And then in the 2 Shield, it beats both the Poison Darks and Munchlax. I almost said Alolan Munchlax. Jeez, what is wrong with me today? But anyway, we'll go down to our final electric, which is Emolga. It ties Lapras in the 0 Shield mainly because Ice Shard damage will be adding up against Emolga. But it does pick up Alolan Marowak and actually does pick up Venusaur thanks to Aerial Ace. And then in the 1 Shield, it ties Jellicent, just because Jellicent is also very tanky, and it can bait with the Bubble Beam. And then it beats Roserade in the 1 Shield and Toxric thanks to Aerial Ace. And then Frostlass, Shiftry, and Sudowoodo all also lose to Emolga. It loses Frostlass and Sudowoodo lose because of Discharge, and Shiftry loses because of Aerial Ace. But that is all for this. We'll cover the next 3 in tomorrow's video. So I will catch y'all in the next video.